So I'm Rohit Parekh. I'm the VP of Customer Success at Matter 365, but I'm also a practicing lawyer. Um, Today we're going to go through Microsoft Planner and how it can be used for matter management. And if my slides, wait, there we go. Sorry. So a quick word on Microsoft 365. As you know, the old products had you tied to your desktop. It offered very limited storage that was off-premise. But now we've managed to move into the cloud, and Microsoft 365 is now entirely cloud-based. So you not only get cloud-based storage of documents, but it also gives you online versions of all your applications, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Planner. A quick note, Microsoft Planner is an online-only application. There is no desktop version for that app. But now that everything's in the cloud, everyone can be on the same page regardless of where they're working. So from all the applications, today we're focusing on Planner for project and matter management, but you can see all these other applications that are typically available under your Microsoft 365 license. The key features and benefits for Planner is that it's a Kanban or Kanban style matter management system. It allows you to quickly and easily organize and assign tasks, track deadlines, share files, communicate and collaborate with your teammates, and get updates on progress quickly and visually. But it also has enough flexibility that you can organize your plans for how you want to work your files. The key to any of this system, though, is it allows you to standardize your workflow so you can get consistent, high quality work product and results for your clients. If you're not familiar with matter management or legal project management, I recommend that you read the Checklist Manifesto by Atul Gawande. It really goes through the process that you need to and sort of adjusting your mindset to how can you break down even the most complicated procedures into simple step-by-step processes. And by going through that, it'll actually allow you to develop your plans in a more effective way and make sure that nothing gets missed. Because some people don't like using workflows because they say it actually decreases their ability to work. But if you do use it properly, it allows you to be both more disciplined and more creative, because you're not using your brain power to figure out what's next today, next week, next month. All of that's already in the plan. You can devote your brain power to that task that is right in front of you and allow you to be more creative with that. But for any matter management system to be effective, it must include all the users in your firm who are working on the matter, so everybody can see what they need to do and what everybody else is up to. And it also must be used consistently, and people need to mark their progress so that if anybody's going in to try and track what's happening in a matter, everybody's adjusted what they've done so they know what's actually left behind if something needs to be, if something's falling through the cracks, you'd be able to pick it up quickly and easily. So for some project management basics, there are a couple different ways that you can organize all the tasks that relate to a matter. Legal project management would have you break it down into every matter into its phases, its tasks, and its subtasks. So phases are those major parts of a file that can start with file opening, move on to collecting documents, information, doing research, and then actually producing the result at the end. And within each of those phases, there'll be a number of tasks that need to be done. And in each of those tasks, there'll be some subtasks that need to be done. So you can take each of your matter, break it down into the phases, tasks, and subtasks, and have each column in Planner being a separate phase. And I'll get to that in a second. Or if you're working on matters that are smaller, that don't necessarily have a lot of phases, or you don't like thinking about it, you just like working off a to-do list, you can keep track of all your tasks in 3 simple buckets: not started or to do, in progress, and completed. So as you start working off your to-do list, as you complete them, they eventually move from in progress into completed. And once everything's been completed, then you know the matter's open, or the matter's closed, finished, and you can move on. But no matter what system you use, you need to make sure that no important task is implied. Because people are going to be using these plans and these workflows in your absence. You want to make sure that they know exactly what needs to be done now, what has to be done next, and what has to be done after that. If a task is implied in the middle and somebody's working and you're not there, something important can be missed. So it's important to think about these things from start to finish and write out every single task, no matter how simple and menial it might be. It's important to get it down. So I'm going to take you into Planner in a second, but in the overview, everything boils down to what's in the actual task. So I'm going to break down the anatomy of what a task has, whether the buckets, the due dates, progress, and priority. So actually, let's go to that now. So I'm taking to Microsoft Planner. This is a blank plan right now. So you can add buckets across the top just by clicking on Added New Bucket. We call this Phase 2. And then under each of them, you get to add a task. So when you click to add a task, you first have to ask add the task name. You can call it whatever you want. I'll just call this one task name. And then once it's done, it's available to be open. Once you open it, you can see there's a lot of different options here. And I'm going to go through them one by one and let you know how they can be used to help manage it. The first off is the assignment. These are the people that you are assigning to be responsible for this task. It usually involves the assignment for the person doing it. And occasionally you may want to assign somebody who's also overseeing the work. So Dave could be the junior lawyer who's been assigned the task, but Mike is the more senior lawyer. They should probably both be assigned so that they can keep track of it. You'll get to choose from your existing members. We'll get to membership in a moment, but for those who are Matter 365 subscribers, you should know that your owners and members on each Matter will automatically be added to the Matter plan. Labels another thing you can do, and there's different ways you can do it. Each will be different colors and they'll show up separately on the tasks. So if there are particular departments or there are particular roles that you want to assign, you can quickly edit these to show which ones you want to have associated with it, whether it's, this is associate work, or you can apply it to the partners, however you want to do it, but it's another quick visual way that you can associate the tasks. The bucket is obviously the column in which these tasks are going to be performed. All the available buckets will be listed here, and you can move it back and forth. And you'll see if I actually move this to phase 1, the card actually moves in the background to that other bucket. But if you're using it in different phases, you can also grab them manually and just drag and drop them into various buckets as you complete them, or as you move them between different phases. Progress can be tracked, so you can list it as in progress or completed. We always advise people that if you're starting to work on it, make sure you click on the in progress, because that will actually show that something started. And again, that goes back to the consistency. If people are looking to find out what the status of a matter is, they want to know that some things are in progress, even if they're not 100% done, just to know that somebody started to work on it. The priority, again, is going to be able to set it from urgent, important, medium, or low. You're going to want to set these according to your firm's needs or the client's needs in terms of both timing as well as importance of the document. Start date and end date, or start date and due date. If you put a start date in, that usually gives a clue to somebody that they need to get started at a particular time. But more importantly, most people are concerned with when is it due. This is a great reminder system, because if you put a due date into this, the person who's been assigned the task, or any of the people who have been assigned the task, are going to get an email reminder the day before this task is due, the day that it is due, and every day after that until it's actually marked as complete. So it's a great way to keep track of things. The notes field, again, this is a fairly large field. So if you are describing for other people what needs to be done, this is where you would actually put the note in of what you expect to be done. Again, don't leave anything implied. Put as many notes as you want in here so that the person who's working on the task knows what has to be done. If you're only assigning tasks for yourself, it may not be necessary to put some notes, but you may want to put it in here just to remind yourself 2 days, 4 days, a week down the road, what you're actually thinking when you created this task. And if there are any sub-lists or subtasks associated with this, you can add them to the checklist. So here we can add a number of different items, and we can actually move them around. If you just want to grab them, you can reorder them as well. You can show them on the card, so you can see on the card in the background where you can they show up, or you can take them off so they're only seen when you open it up. But these are important too as well. If there's a number of different minor steps within a larger step to get this done, you're going to want to list them here. And again, don't leave anything implied. For attachments, this is, again, another important thing and a great way that Microsoft has tied all their applications together, is that you can actually, if there's a particular document or a particular reference documents that people need to be looking at in order to complete this task or to draft an actual document as part of the task, you can link the documents here by adding it as attachment. If you add it as a file, it's going to be the same, sort of adding it directly from your hard drive. We recommend, however, that you add it as a link to a file. So if you're using OneDrive or SharePoint, you know how you can go in and copy links to files. If you don't know how to do that, check out the Matter 365 YouTube page, because we have a OneDrive webinar that we ran earlier in the year. I will show you how to do that. But if you are a Matter 365 subscriber, you should know that if you click on the SharePoint, it's going to take you directly into the document repository for that particular matter. So you can quickly and easily link to documents that you have saved in your SharePoint site or OneDrive. The advantage of doing this is that when somebody opens this document, they can actually make changes and save it or modify it. And those changes will automatically be saved back to your OneDrive or SharePoint location where you've got where you've linked the file from. And lastly, we have the comment section. This is a great sort of contextual communication tool. So you can use, so between, if Mike and Dave are working on this task together, they can actually have comments back and forth on it. You will receive an email alert that a comment has been made. And then when you click on the link in your email, it'll take you directly to this card. So it keeps all the conversations linked to the tasks of which they're associated. So you don't have to sort through your email to find somebody's comment that they made on something and then have to remember which comment it was actually related to, because they're all linked together. And so that's how a card works. So again, as I said, if you want to take it between different phases, if I want to take this back into phase 2, I can open this up and automatically it's going to change the bucket as into phase 2. So there's a lot of different ways you can move stuff around within that. The other great part about Planner is the number of visualizations that it gives you. We know that not everybody looks at data the same way and may not be able to sort through it quickly and easily on a visual basis. So Microsoft has very helpfully given us a number of visualizations for the plans itself. And also allows you to reorder and group the tasks by their buckets assigned to progress and due date. I'll show you how to do that now. So I'm going to take you to another planner that has more cards in it. And you can see we've set this up as a litigation matter. We've got file opening, pleading phase, expert collaboration, and discovery. This is the board view, and you can see at the very top it's listed as board. But if you want to change it to a chart view, this will actually give you the sort of dashboard view of how many tasks there are and what stages there are, how many tasks are in each particular bucket or column, how many tasks based on importance, and then also how many tasks based on the members. You still have access to all the cards down on the right side, but this gives you a much different view that helps you perhaps allocate the workload differently. If you see that Dave is overworked, perhaps we can assign more to Ivan to sort of even out the load. The other view you can get is also a schedule view. So this will show you either in a week or a month view what needs to be done. For those tasks that have both a start date and an end date, you'll see that they'll actually span that entire date. So our review defense ends on the 1st, but it started way beforehand. And if you want to check into any of these ones, you can quickly click on the draft claim, and it's going to open up that card where you can see all the various aspects in terms of progress, priority, checklist, and the communication tools. The other way that you can visualize this, in addition, and I find this easiest on the board view to show you, is you can group it differently. So right now we have it grouped by bucket, but we could also group it by assigned to, so that each person across the top, and it'll list all the tasks that have been assigned to them. You can also group it by progress. So again, it shows you that default view of not started, in progress, and completed. And you can also group by due date. Actually, today, next week, future, no date. This is important to know if you have any tasks that you forgot to assign a date to. You can also group it by label. If you're using the labels, this is a quick and easy way to get that done, and by priority. And there's also filtering as well. So if we go back to the regular bucket view, we can apply filters. And again, we can say, I just want to see those tasks that are due this week. And there it is. And it's going to limit it just for that. We can also do the same thing based on, I only want to see urgent tasks. And all these fields down here, they can actually use cumulatively as well. Or you can use them one at a time. But again, this is another great way. Once you have all your tasks in here, you can slice and dice the view any way you want to give you the information that you're looking for. But the other great thing is if you don't want to look at everything on a per matter basis to find out what's going on, if you just want to come in, or if you're one of those people who just likes to know, what do I have to do and when do I need to do it, you can come in and check the My Tasks, which is over on the left. And if you click on My Tasks, it's automatically going to pull all the tasks that have been assigned to you. So I've signed in as Mike. Everything assigned to Mike is going to be shown here. The default view is going to be shown by progress, but you can also have it shown by due date, and the same for priority. And again, that same filtering that we have on here, but it's only going to show those that are assigned to you. The other advantage to this, in addition to getting the different visualization in charts and schedule, you can actually have the My Task added to your Outlook calendar. And what that does is that it will act as a calendar overlay on top of your regular calendar. So all of your tasks that you would see in the schedule view is all going to show up on your regular Outlook calendar. So you don't have to be switching back and forth between multiple applications to see what you should be working on. All right, so now for some interesting tips and tricks. Templates. So this is something that people often ask about. It's a recent feature update that Planner had, that you can now actually copy entire plans into other existing plans. So you want to set up standard plans for different types of areas of law that you work in. Anything that you do that is either routine or any type of matters that will tend to be repeated over time, I suggest you come up with a template. And that way you can just copy them into all the new plans that you create for any new matters that come in. And the way that you do that, I'll go back to this plan, which is my incorporation template. And you can see here, I haven't actually assigned them to anybody. I put some labels, I created some cards, put some priority, but there's no start date, there's no due date, and there's no assignment. So it's generally how you want to create your templates. And then when you actually go in, you just hit copy plan. And when you go to copy plan, the first thing you do, you can copy the group you want to put it into. So I'm going to search for a group. Let's put it in this trembling lambs. This is where you want to put in the name of your plan. It's automatically going to call it copy of incorporation template, which is certainly not helpful. So if you are a Matter 365 subscriber, we recommend that you just copy the name of the plan from down below. You don't have to worry about it. You can actually call it something a little bit different, but it's still going to be associated with this group. Therefore, you'll still be able to access it from the Matter dashboard page. And then here at the bottom, you get to include what you want onto it. Obviously, it's not going to include any unfortunately, it doesn't allow you to include any attachments. Or maybe in this case, we don't have any attachments, but you can include the priority and you can include the dates. But again, I think all the dates are going to be highly contingent on when you're opening the files. Therefore, it's probably something you want to do. But if you have attachments and dates you want to copy over, you can include those. And then you just hit copy plan. So what's happening now is it's going to copy the plan. It doesn't happen instantaneously, and it's going to basically it's copying the plan, and your new plan will show up in recent plans. And I think, yeah, it's not up there yet, so it's not doing it. So let's go back to some of the other tips and tricks. I think I talked about turning a checklist item into a task. If I didn't, let me do that now. If you're working in a particular task and you've got a couple different items in here and you realize that, you know what, this item 2 is a lot bigger than it should be. I should create an entire task for it rather than having it as a subtask. You just click on this little arrow next to it, and it's going to take that out of, it's going to take that out of your checklist and add it up top. So you can see here, there's the item 2. I don't know why that got duplicated. The only thing it's going to copy over is the priority. So the progress, the due date, the start date, all of that is going to be fresh. So then you'll have to go in and then assign it to people and put in new description, add new checklists if you have to, and add attachments. But that's how you can quickly, if your checklist becomes overcome with too many items and you want to break it out, that's how you can do that quickly and easily. Also, adding external members. People want to include other people onto their plan. Some of our clients have even asked, how can we include our clients in the plan? And you can add other external members, but please note, and this is very important, if you add members to your plan in Planner, it's also going to add them as members to your entire Microsoft group. So that entire group that you have associated with that plan, so they will have access to your SharePoint site, your OneDrive, your OneNote, and your Outlook group. So for Matter 365 subscribers, that's actually not a very good thing to do because that's giving them access to everything. But if you want to add members, click on top here, this little 3 dots. You can hit here to add members. It's going to open up the Outlook group membership page. And you're going to see here, you can quickly add members, add to favorites, invite others. You can even delete people from this group as well. So there's a lot of different ways you can work with it. Again, because Planner is part of your Office suite of applications, it actually has a great integration with the rest of the Office applications. With your Outlook calendar, I showed you how you can synchronize your My Tasks to your Outlook calendar. You can actually synchronize any plan to your Outlook calendar. I'd recommend that you be careful when you do that because you don't want to overload your calendar view, which could make it unusable. And again, the links to documents in SharePoint and OneDrive, if you're using Matter 365, we've already created that link between those, between the SharePoint and Planner. So you can easily link the documents to the task. And once you open and modify them, they're saved back into the OneDrive. So everyone else will know they're working from the most recent versions of the documents. And OneNote, you actually can get quick and easy access to OneNote directly from Planner, which again is another way to keep everybody on the same page. And there's also an Outlook group folder access from Planner as well. Actually, I'll show you that right now. Again, in the ellipses next to the schedule, if you want to get access to the notebook, you just click on Notebook. And if you want to get access to the Microsoft Outlook group, you click on that. And as you know, the Microsoft Outlook group, this is where we're going to be storing the emails through in Matter 365. So it's a great way to quickly navigate between the different parts. And again, if we clicked onto Notebook, we're going to go directly to the OneNote for that particular matter that Matter 365 is set up. So it's a great way to keep active. Well, of course, there's nothing in that one. So in conclusion, Planner can be the all-in-one matter management system the firm needs because it is both full-featured and yet extremely flexible. So it's going to work the way you want it to work. The only piece left is how you want to organize it. The best practice is to use the Microsoft groups to organize your firm. For those people who are Matter 365 subscribers, you know how these Microsoft groups work. We set up a new group for every plan, or sorry, for every matter. And each of these groups will have its own plan in Planner, but if you set it up as a Microsoft group, it also will create space in SharePoint, OneNote, Outlook, Teams, etc. So if you're not using Matter 365, you can create these groups based on every matter or on every lawyer or even practice groups, whatever makes sense for your firm. But any system that you use, if you want to get your firm's personnel to adopt it, it should likely replicate your firm's matter organization that they're using right now. So that's it for me. I'd love to stay in touch. If you have any questions on Planner in particular, I'm happy to stay on, or I'm not happy. I will be staying on the line for question and answer period. But if you want to talk more about how best ways of keeping your firm organized, or how best to organize your matters or your plans for a particular matter type, I'm happy to have those discussions as well. I can be reached, you can see there, rohit@matter365.com. So thank you very much, and I'm happy to take your questions.